I am the Executive Director at the Common Approach to Impact Measurement. Welcome to our Meet the Software series. For those of you who watched other videos in the series, you know that Common Approach is a flexible approach to impact measurement that focuses the needs of social purpose organizations. So that's the investees, the social enterprises, the co-ops, the social purpose businesses, and sometimes nonprofits. When we say we center their needs, we understand that impact measurement must also meet the impact measurement needs of investors, but we try to do so in a way where investors' needs are met, so we can hold investors to account, so investors can talk to their stakeholders about their impact, but in a way that centers the needs of the social purpose organization. We do this in a lot of ways, but a key part of our strategy is data. And we have this common impact data standard of which Cigarbox, who we'll meet today, is aligned. The way the common impact data standard works is it sits in the background of a software, and organizations, investors, and social purpose organizations use the data standard by choosing and working with an aligned software. Working on an aligned software is key to making data more exchangeable, reducing the effort social purpose organizations spend typing in data again and again, and allows investors to do cool things with their data. Today we're going to be looking at Cigarbox, who has aligned with the Common Impact Data Standard at the Essential tier. Before I introduce Peter Bauer, the CEO, I'd just like to note that this webinar is being recorded, and the recording will go forward up through to Q&A, but will not cover the question and answer period. So I'm now pleased to introduce Peter Bauer, who is the CEO of Cigarbox. Cigarbox has a great name. It is a Dutch expression that is similar to what in English we say a back of the napkin sketch. But rather than having the connotation of kind of sketchy or quick, it has the connotation of like insightful and well synthesized and clear to the point. And I understand it traces back to when the Netherlands was a trading hub, and rather than paper napkins on tables, it was cigar boxes at people's disposal to write down a good business idea or something. So very cool name, absolutely love it. And the other thing I love about Cigarbox is their commitment to enabling investors to choose impact measures that are well suited to the investor, while also allowing the investee to drive that investment forward. Cigarbox is based in the Netherlands, and they have an office in Vancouver, Canada. So with no further ado, Peter, over to you to tell us about Cigarbox and demonstrate your tool.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. Thank you to everyone that we can do a presentation. Yeah, we don't sell cigars. I regularly get questions about if I sell cigars, but what we do, we focus on what you need to know at the minimum to make a good investment decision, and to make a good impact investment decision. And these things are like, what kind of impact do I want to create? What are my impact ambitions? What do all my projects contribute to these impact ambitions? What do they cost? And all of these minimal variables, we based upon that, we create dashboards. And we do that for a lot of funds, foundations, like welfare funds, cultural foundations, cities, combinations of organizations who have the same impact ambitions. Well, and because we focus on a minimum, it's on the back end of a cigar box. For the sake of this demo, I'm gonna show you something from the public sector. This is a combination of a city, a library, a welfare organization, sports organizations, and all of these organizations share the same ambitions. So they want to improve health, they want to reduce poverty, reduce loneliness, make the city a nicer place to live, and they are all involved in tons of projects, and They need to report, make investment decisions, optimize their portfolio. And I'm gonna, together with all these organizations, we set up a dashboard, which I'm gonna show you an example of. And I will go through the dashboard from different perspectives. So as a portfolio manager, as a separate organization working with all these other organizations, as a project owner, as a regional manager, and show you how from these different angles you can use the dashboard to your benefits. Yeah, so I logged in to the dashboard, and in this time I logged in as a portfolio manager. And as a portfolio manager, I want to be aware of my overall performance. I want to make funding decisions or have informed conversations with project owners. And what you see in this overview here is this table on the left. You see several projects. You see city art, a language development course, keep moving, and all of these projects, like each row is one project. And if we go through this for one project to have kind of an idea what you're looking at, we're going to take a look at city art here. We see in which year it started, what the costs are, some financial returns. We see the number of participants, the contribution to the different impact goals we see on the top. So the contribution to personal development or social participation here with 60%. So we have an overview of, as a portfolio manager, of all of my projects and the contribution to the different impact goals I have. So in small, we work, as many of your organizations, we also work with a like theory of change or a logic framework, and you see already here different elements of this theory of change. So you see the different impact goals, you see the investment you make, you see the outreach you have, or for instance, the number of participants or other outputs you have. Let's pick one as an example. We already looked at here at city art. In this, and let's say I have to make a funding decision. So I'm a portfolio manager, and I want to know from, hey, where do I need to put my money on? Well, if I look at this schedule, we see on a portfolio level on the top, you see the green and red little squares. Those are that's the status of the impact goals of your of my portfolio. So as a portfolio manager, I see in this case that social cohesion, which is one of the goals all of these organizations are steering on, is a little behind. It's red. So I want to select a project which contributes to this social cohesion. So I can select from here, I can see here, city art, 83% is contributing most to social cohesion. Healthy living is also contributing some to social cohesion, 60%. And I also see if I want to make an investment decision in this already at a glance, I see what they cost. City art costs $14,000, what the financial return is. So I have already kind of at the back end of a Cigarbox, kind of an idea where I should invest in or not, and if I want to improve social cohesion, and where I shouldn't invest in. Well, and all of these projects, if we, in a minute, we will focus a little bit more on the projects. The data is always live. So each data point which we collect, whether it's from a participant or whether it's from another data source, is always updated. So you always look at the current status of the different projects. Well, let's say so we're going to focus on this social cohesion, and let's say I want to have a meeting with the city art project owner and see what it's all about and get myself informed on the project. Now I click on this project, City Art, and what I see here, which we call is a fact sheet. And I'll go, we see in this fact sheet, I'll scroll a little bit, we see, for instance, the participant profile. So who do we reach with this project? So in this case, it's there are participants for this project, so their age or education level, or these are things all the different organizations using this dashboard want to know. And if we go down, we were focusing on social cohesion. We see here the contribution to social cohesion. So in this case, for this project, if on here the top left figure, so social cohesion, so the people working who participated in this project met new people or feel less lonely, or at the bottom feel more connected with other people from the neighborhood. Now, to give this data a little bit more perspective, we added a benchmark, the open public art installation. And here we see that these, especially meeting new people, that it's really high also compared to other projects. Well, for this project on the top right, it says download PDF. I can create a PDF and then I'm prepared for my meeting. About benchmarking, if I want to learn a little bit more about what we try to do here is put data in perspective. So if we go back, we put the data of all the different projects in perspective of the portfolio results, which you see in green and red, but we can also compare them a little bit more to each other. Let's say I want to focus on a health project, and especially what health projects do for elderly people. Here we see in this overview, in the overview of my projects, I see 3 projects. These three projects which I click on, I see in the right column, you see health, and you see that these 3 projects contribute to health, improving health. And now I can compare these 3 projects. So we have the fact sheets you just saw. Each of the projects has a fact sheet with all the different results. We see now the results of 3 fact sheets next to each other. Well, we wanted to know which project contributes to health. So these 3 projects contribute to health, and also with more focus on older people. So here we see in the middle project, age and gender. So who do you reach? So quite easy with this question, you get to you can see, oh, these projects contribute to health. This project is more focused on older people. So maybe I should, if that's a focus point, invest more in this project. So you with those are types of ways to go through the data and put the data in perspective. These were some examples from a portfolio manager. Well, if we go to, let's say I'm an organization, and there are different organizations working in this dashboard. So we have dashboards where up to like 400 different organizations work in. On the right, in this example, you see different stakeholders or organizations working in this example dashboard. So we see here a short list: the Vancouver Social Outreach, the Arts Council, Public Library, Sports Academy, and they all work in this dashboard and do research in the same way, but for each of those organizations, the focus is a little bit different. So the sports academy will be focused a little bit more on health, for instance, and maybe the arts council will has another focus point on cultural participation maybe. But every time in this dashboard, when it's about cultural participation, then all the projects are measured in the same way. So you create so you create benchmark data, so it can can be set in the perspective on portfolio level. But let's go to one. So let's say I'm the Arts Council. Now we see an overview of all the projects the Arts Council is participating in. So these can be their own projects, but also projects they cooperate with other organizations. They will also show up in this overview. I click on the tab Project Results. Now I see all the different project results. One moment. From in all the different areas, but now I see all the different project results from the Arts Council. And as an Arts Council, for instance, you have funders, and you might want to report to these funders what the total impact of all of your projects was. Now, what we can do, because we collect data and there is a common approach in working with this dashboard, what we can do is create an overall a total report where we combine all the different projects we're involved in. So we go to the top right, we say combine projects, and I say, well, I want to make a total report for the Arts Council, and I want to do the projects I'm involved in. Well, let's say it's our these three projects. And now in a couple of clicks, this is my overview for my total report, where I can add some more information. But if I go to fact sheets, I have a total report for all of my projects, and if we go to impact, what the impact is and what the from all the combined projects of my organization. And I can add here a benchmark of all the let's say from all the projects of earlier total report from last year, or like whatever benchmark I want to add, and I can download a PDF to share with my stakeholders or funders or etc. Well, another what we often see is there are also regional managers. So let's say I'm working in a certain area of the city, and I work with all these different organizations in this city to make this region or make this area a little better. Now, as this region, so I click on Kensington Cedar Cottage. Now I see all the projects in my region. So I see what the portfolios, on a portfolio level, what the status is in this region with the different colors, and I see all the projects we are conducting in this region, and in this small overview, I have like a little strategy. So what are my goals? What's the current status of these goals? So I can see that physical livability is behind. Social cohesion goes pretty well here. And I see all the different projects which I'm conducting in this region and what they contribute to the different goals. So as a regional manager, I can say, well, which projects should I invest in? Or I can see which organizations are involved in this region, which are doing not enough, so I can stimulate them to do a little more. So again, you can, from different angles and perspectives, there are users in this dashboard who use the tool. Well, another angle to work in this is to go. Let's go to a project owner, and that's, as Kate already mentioned in her introduction. We believe that in the at the lowest level, so by collecting from a lot of different project owners and ideally also from participants, and collecting from a lot of different people who all put in a little effort, so it doesn't take a lot of time. We collect a lot of data and a lot of insights into into what the impacts are of all these different projects. And so for this project owner view, I go to one project, and on the top here, you see a lot of, we call them tabs. So we have a project plan, and each project owner has a project overview. So I went, so if I click here on the left, I see my projects. So I see all the different projects I'm personally responsible for in this dashboard. And I can add projects, I can export the results to Excel, but I can, and if we go to one project, so we have here one project, you see here different tabs, and all these different tabs, those are when there's a little those are inputs or reports, and we follow for each project. We follow the path of, like, the process of a project. So in the beginning, we have some like general information about the project or a project plan, and what we want to know are some characteristics of the project. And these characteristics, which can be in which sector or which elements are part of the project, or what does the project cost. So with just a couple of characteristics, we can make these, you can make analysis, because in the end you want to know what are success factors and what, which type of projects work for which audiences and have the most impact for which audiences. And we can collect data from participants or professionals, and in the end, everything goes into a fact sheet. And these fact sheets you can share, you can add benchmarks, but each project owner is the responsible for collecting data on a project level from wherever that person is collecting the data from. And well, and of course the data is focused on only what's relevant. So the project owner collects the relevant data, and what I mean by that, if your project is not about health, you don't collect any data about health, or you only collect data where your project is about. When you saw some of these, I gave you from a couple of perspectives how you can go through the dashboard. If we work for the clients we work for, whether that are foundations or groups of foundations or cities, or what we always start with, we always start with the content, like what are the ambitions, and we create together like a measurable impact strategy or a logical framework as a basis to set up the dashboards. And within that setup, it's flexible, but we start with the content and help you create a measurable impact strategy which connects to your ambitions and to how things are already measured for your stakeholders or for the city. So that's and so each of our dashboards are like a little different based upon the content we had, based upon the ambitions of the users. And I think I hope you have an idea of how it works.
Yeah, so before we go to questions, I just want to highlight some things that I just loved from this presentation, Peter. So thank you very much. The benchmarking feature that Cigarbox offers, we know this is something that the social purpose organizations and the investors that talk to us at Common Approach value a lot. That's a really great feature. Also, all these visualizations. The research on impact measurement shows that just by visualizing the data, people make better decisions with the data, more than just having the numbers. So I think that I like the focus on empowering people to make decisions, which came throughout that whole presentation. In fact, even when you were talking about how a city or a foundation or an investor might use these dashboards, it was to improve impact going forward. It was forward-looking decisions. What are we going to do now? And you just gave one example of a report. You can download the PDF and do the accountability, which is a very important part of impact measurement. But I loved the focus on using the data to improve impact going forward and how you've built a system to enable that. That's really awesome. I also liked the way you showed how, depending on who the user is, the data needs to be kind of sliced and diced or filtered in different ways because different users have different needs of way of looking at the same underlying phenomenons. And I think you showed that really nicely as well. I also liked your point about how, to the extent you can, you get data from the participants. We talk about the voice of those whose lives are most affected. And we think they have the best insights. We at Common Approach believe they have the best insights into impact, and that the goal of impact measurement is to get those insights up to the investors in the cities and the foundations that are moving money. So I just loved that bottom-up facilitation there. And of course, you talked about how this customized dashboard starts with how things are already being measured, which is so key to respect the decisions that the investees, the grantees have made about how best to manage their organizations and what they are measuring in building that overall portfolio. So I really loved all of that. So thank you. A really great tool that I think, I always say that people think they love their spreadsheets, but future you does not love your spreadsheet as much as present day you. And this to me is like an investment that people can fall in love with in the future, even though people today might like their spreadsheets. This can do a bunch of things that spreadsheets can't do. So I really liked it.